I think you guys are all in our my downline chat. Beth was one of my VIPs who I used to work with previously when I ran a door-to-door AT&T office. And she's somebody who, like, from the outside you would think is kind of shy from the outside looking in, and then you get to actually like know Beth. Number one, she's so funny, she's so outgoing, she's incredible, literally she's incredible. But to me, she's like a perfect example of someone who saw a challenge, right? This business to you initially was a challenge. It was like, this big scary thing, I don't know what I'm doing. And then she figured out how to make it hers. She was like, okay, so I see these small pieces that I like. And then she combined them and figured out how to make that her own. And then she's ran with it. And if you guys have been following her content, like, she went, when we did our call and like our initial potential call, which we did too, guys, she bailed after the first one. But when we did our initial potential call, she's like, yeah, I mean, I'll try it out. I don't know if I'm gonna post or anything like that, but I mean, I guess what's the worst that can happen? I'll get a discount. And now, like, she's on camera every single day. I love it. So I'm so excited to learn from you because I know how much personal development has changed you as a person. I might have to. Are you unmuted? Do I have to unmute you? No,
I
you're.
am. I think I'm unmuted.
Okay, perfect. I am muting myself, so go ahead and take over.
Okay. Yay. Oh my God. Thank you, Veronica. I'm like, for anyone on here who's already done one of these calls, I know you know like the nerves that are building up in here, but I cannot even say like how grateful I am to even be able to talk to you. Like, this is an opportunity that I never thought I would have, to like be able to just share something that I really care about with people who also care about that thing. So thank you so much for even listening to me. Like, this topic of personal development is something that I have become absolutely obsessed with. Probably, I would say, like the last 2 or 3 months, which is a very short amount of time. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to do this call, is because I'm a beginner. And if you haven't really gotten into a personal development routine yet, if you haven't really got a practice, that's exactly where I was. So that's how I know that these things that I'm talking about are things that you can do this month and start right away and start seeing results that have already changed my life and have already become such a huge part of everything that I do. So when we think about personal development, my first initial thoughts were like, well, that's kind of like a spiritual, kind of like woo-woo, like weird topic to think about. And it seems very mysterious and like strange and magical. And I don't know if I believe in it. But what I've realized, guys, is that personal development is like anything else that you do where there's a cause and there's an effect. Okay. So what you put in to your personal development is what you get out. It's just like if you wanted to get like physically fit. Okay. For example, what if I wanted to run a marathon? So my goal, 26.2 miles, I'm going to run a marathon. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start training for it. What I'm not going to do is just drag my ass out one day and run 26 miles in one day and then just like sit on my couch and die the rest of the week. Like, no, if I want to train to run a marathon, I'm going to train every day. I'm not going to run a marathon every day. But I'm going to do like long runs and short runs. I'm going to do strength training. I'm going to be stretching and strengthening my joints. I'm going to be doing like working on my diet and my hydration. All of these different pieces become the whole that's going to give you the result that you want. And that is exactly what personal development is too. It's not like a mysterious thing. It's just putting in the work, getting into a routine, and strengthening the muscle that is your mind. So just like if you wanted to get fit and like go to the gym, you're not just going to do it once a week. Doing a little bit every day is what's going to make the difference. Doing a little bit every day is so much better than just doing a lot all at once. So that's kind of my main introduction point there, is like, this is something that you should be developing in your daily lifestyle. It's not just like once a week, I'm going to listen to a podcast to like check off I did personal development. Like, you're not going to see results if you do that. So just like in the fitness example, you have like different aspects that create the whole picture of your physical fitness. I wanted to break it down into 3 aspects that create your personal development. So these are something that, in addition to these 3 points that I'm going to talk about, you should also be doing things like listening to positive media, like podcast, reading good books, training videos, instead of like watching Netflix every night. Sorry, like if you watch 3 hours of Netflix a night, what if you replace that with 1 hour of personal development and 2 hours of Netflix? Like these are the things that you're going to incorporate into your daily routine in addition to these 3 topics that I'm going to talk about. So the first topic that I want to talk about is meditation. Meditation, if you're someone that follows me, you probably know that I am obsessed with meditation. It's become like it's become something that like governs my whole life. And the thing about it is at first I couldn't do it. So if you don't have a meditation practice right now, that's fine. That's exactly where I was 2 months ago. I could not sit my ass down for 5 minutes and meditate. It was so hard. But if you start dedicating the time, you're going to notice some big, big changes, because what meditation does is it teaches you to finally kick the habit of saying, I don't have time. If you think that you don't have time, and then you decide that you're going to be disciplined enough to just sit down and do nothing for 5 minutes, that's going to teach you so much about the value of your time. So in order to start meditating, you don't have to do a bunch of crazy shit. Like just put a timer on your phone for 5 minutes, throw your phone across the room and sit down and close your eyes. Like that's literally as simple as it is. But here's what meditation really does for you. That's how you're going to plug into your power source. Okay, here's a little example from my life. This is like an embarrassing story. So a couple of weeks ago, I was trying to get all the photos off of my phone onto my computer. And I was like, how do I do this? I'm like Googling, I see all these like complicated things, like do this airdrop and all these, like, I don't understand anything. So I post on my story, I'm like, how do I get the pictures off my phone onto my computer? And Joe's mom of all people responds, she's like, I think you just have to plug your phone into your computer. And like, obviously, yes, that's all you have to do. So I plug my phone into my computer and suddenly it all comes together. Like it's charging the battery. It's downloading all of my photos onto my computer. It's syncing the data. It's downloading new software. All this stuff is like coming together. And all I had to do was plug the phone in. Okay. And that's exactly what it's like when you're meditating, because you're connected to your power source. Meditating is when you flick off your thinking brain and the part of your mind that's saying, I have all these things I need to do and everything I have to get done and all this stuff that's clouding your mind. And you're just thinking about you as a human being, the things that are going on in your body, the breaths that you're taking, your lungs as you breathe, your heart as it beats, your organs that are functioning inside you, like your hair is growing. All of these amazing things are happening as we go through life that we don't even think about. And that's why when you meditate and you learn to click off your overanalyzing, crazy ass brain and just sit there for 5 minutes, you'll get a lot of clarity on issues that you would not have otherwise even thought about. You'll realize like when you are feeling stressed, you'll realize when you're feeling like insecure, you'll realize when you're feeling angry. And that's what meditation really does. It allows you to connect into your inner state, and then you can start to work through those objects. But you can't do that if you have no idea what's going on. So don't wait to start your meditation practice. Like, don't wait until you have a perfect, like, beautiful meditation space. Like, don't wait until you have an hour of uninterrupted time. Like, don't wait until you have like a fucking meditation outfit or whatever. Like, just start meditating now. Start meditating after you get off this call. Put a timer on your phone for 5 minutes. We have 30 minutes till the next call, so try it. The second point is manifestation. Manifestation, I did not think was real for a very long time. Manifestation, I thought was like some crazy bullshit that rich people say you can become rich by doing this. But the truth is that manifestation works. And I will tell you a couple examples from my own personal life in a minute here about things that I've manifested. And you can read this anywhere in any personal development book. If anybody is successful, they are manifesting. Okay, here's how to start doing it. The first thing you need to do is surround yourself with what you want. So think about this. Like when you were a little kid, think about something you really, really wanted when you were a child. And think about like how that consumed your life. Okay. For me, all I wanted as a child was a cat. Like I was obsessed with cats. I wanted one so bad. My mom would not let me have a cat. She hated them, whatever. It was this whole thing. And my life was revolving around cats because I wanted one so bad. I would draw pictures of cats. I had like 1,000 stuffed animal kitties everywhere. I would like, every time someone had a cat at their house, I would freak out. Like, my life revolved around kitties. I even like created an imaginary cat. It was like a little gray kitty with like white paws, and his name is Cuddly. And I was like, this is my cat. It was an imaginary thing. But the reason I say that is because what if the thing that you want right now, what if you wanted that thing with that kind of tenacity? What if you were so obsessed with your goal that you put it everywhere? Like, it was the background on your phone, it was the background on your computer, you had like a Pinterest board for everything. It's in every page of your journal. There's pictures of it everywhere. Like, all you can think about is that thing. That's where you're going to start seeing some changes. So get really, really clear on the details of exactly what you want, and you're going to know what you're getting before it ever even comes to you. And that way, if I'm thinking about things that I want that are aspects of my dream life, some of them are going to be small things. Like, I know what kind of dishes I want in my dream kitchen. And then one day I know that I'm going to be at the store and I'm going to see those dishes and I'm going to buy them. And that's how I'm going to create these aspects of manifestation that become reality in my life, because they're in my mind. And once it's in your mind, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. So that is manifestation. When you start seeing those little opportunities, take them, and little piece by little piece, you're going to build that life that you're dreaming about, as long as you're clear on the details. Number 3 is affirmations. Affirmations, also something I thought was bullshit for a long time. And the reason I thought it was bullshit is because if you don't believe in the affirmation that you're writing down or saying, it doesn't matter. If you're writing something down and it's like, I kind of believe this, like, I kind of believe I'm confident, I kind of believe I'm wealthy, it's not going to do you any good. You might as well write down, I don't know, your grocery list. Like, an affirmation doesn't mean anything if you don't believe in it. But here's how to get an affirmation that you do believe in. It starts with, from point 2, getting really, really clear on what you want, and then visualizing the person of you who lives in that dream life. What does this person do? What do they look like? What do they wear? What time do they wake up? What do they have for breakfast? What is their morning routine? What is their nighttime routine? Like, every aspect of that person should be so clear in your mind, because now what you're going to do is you're going to take aspects of that person's personality and their traits and their emotions and their energy and create your affirmations from that. So if you're thinking about your dream person and that person is so outgoing and so confident and so kind and so caring, you're going to take those words, outgoing, confident, kind, caring, and that becomes your affirmation. But if it's not something that really applies to your life, it's not an affirmation to you, and it doesn't matter. Like, don't write down someone else's affirmations. Create your own. And then here is something that I really wanted to share in regards to affirmations and the true power of them, is when you start putting your affirmations out into the universe so that other people can hear them, shit gets real. Okay, here's a little story. So in 2016, I was working at a job that I didn't really like. I kind of wanted to leave the company, and I was trying to think, like, how can I work from home? How can I be my own boss? I was like, I'm going to become a writer. I'm going to be a freelance writer. I'm going to do this as my full-time job. I'm going to make money. I started writing all the time. I was like creating all this content. I was like figuring out my brand and all these things I wanted to do. I even made myself a website, but I got stuck because I didn't really believe that I could do it. And I got stuck at the point where I needed to start sending out some fucking work to some publishers and telling them, like, here's my stuff. Like, do you want to publish it? But I couldn't do it. And so this happened to me last week, finally, almost 5 years later. I've been working on my personal development. I've been working on my mindset. I've been working on my confidence. And I realized that all I needed to do was believe that I could do it. So I had all these pieces that I'd written before. I had all these publishers I wanted to work with. I finally was like, I'm just going to send this stuff out, and then I'm going to believe that they're going to publish it. And so what I started doing is telling people that I'm a writer before I heard back from any of the publishers, before I made a cent, before anybody said, okay, let's do this. I was like at lunch with my friends being like, yeah, I'm a writer. I write for blogs, you know, like I get paid for the content I write. And I was able to say this because I knew that it was true. And it's like, I started telling Joe, like, I think this is going to be, you know, one of my main sources of income. Before I made like $30 and I was like, yeah, this is what I do now. But the fact that you are putting something out there and you're telling people, that's how you stay accountable, and that's how you create this into your reality. So I would definitely say, if you want to become something, the platform that we have of running our businesses on social media is the perfect opportunity to do this, because when you put out your goals on social media, you have like 100 people or more. If you're Amanda, you had fucking 10,000 people that see your goals and they see what you're doing, and you have to be accountable now. You have to start acting as if that is true. So that is why having a platform on social media is so, so powerful in relation to the affirmations that you create for yourself. So those are the three things that I have. Meditation, manifestation, and affirmations are going to change everything about your personal development if you can incorporate them into a daily routine. So personal development, guys, like, that is what sets this business apart from other businesses. People, like, I know that we bring value for, like, you know, people love the shampoo and they come to us for the skincare, and yes, that stuff is valuable. But for a business partner to join your team, the value that they are going to see is going to be the changes that happen in their life. They are going to become a new person because of personal development, and so are you. And that's why this is our big opportunity to share what we do. Something that I always do every time when I listen to a podcast or I am on some personal development shit, just get on your story and talk about it. Like, I know Veronica's probably telling you, like, show your face on camera. You need to talk on camera. You hear that all the time, but you're like, I don't know what to talk about. This is what you should talk about. You should be working on yourself. And even though you might be a beginner, this might be the first week that you ever get into a personal development routine. This is going to be a perfect opportunity for you to share with your other followers who don't have a routine yet either. They're at the same step as you, and that is how you create relationships. So the personal development aspect of this business is so absolutely valuable, and no other business is going to pay you on your personal development. Like, this is personal development with a paycheck, and that is so, so unique to us. So I just hope that you took something from this call, and I hope that you know that, like, by putting you first and putting your mental health first, that's how you're going to attract everything you need. Like, if you want to put drastic change into your life, it starts with you, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with putting you first. You are the most important person in your life. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. This is like very, very
That
blurry,
was
but
so good.
yes,
That
thank
was
you.
so good. I loved it. I do have one question. So for someone who's watching right now and maybe, like, you know, even for me, I text Beth sometimes. I'm like, I'm really anxious and I'm trying to, like, zone out, and I can't do it. Right. And you always talk
Yeah.
about sitting down and, like, sitting in space when you're meditating. Do you have do you recommend how someone can start practicing off of the bat, or do you literally say just take 5 minutes tomorrow and start?
I literally say take 5 minutes.
Cool.
Because now I'm at a point where, like, over time, since I started meditating every day, like, guys, I meditate for 30 minutes every morning, and I want to have a comfy spot to sit now. But at first I just sat on my bed. Like, I'm wearing my PJs. I just sat on my bed. You don't need anything special. But once it becomes part of your life, it is kind of nice to have, like, you know, a ritual, a spot, an area. So I do like that aspect of it, but it is by no means necessary.
And is there a way that you can manifest wrong? Like, I know some people talk about you can only manifest something with, you know, in present tense, in current tense, in future tense. Is there a way that you can do I'm sorry, not manifest, do your affirmations wrong?
Oh, I don't know. Do you think you're doing it wrong? Like, if you think you're doing it wrong, you are. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Sometimes I feel like if I'm not saying them the right way, I'm doing them wrong. I'm like, I don't think you can do them wrong.
No, because you can't trick the universe.
Valid.
You know, the universe, maybe if you believe in God, like the God and the universe, they can read what's in your heart and they can read what's in your mind. And there's no way to trick it. So, like, if the words that come out, maybe they don't exactly describe, like, how you feel and what you want, but, like, they're the best that you can do, then that's amazing. You should keep doing it.
I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. If you guys have any questions, reach out because I'm telling you, Beth's energy, especially like when she's when she's zoned in and listening to her podcast and like on one, her energy is just infectious. So thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. That was amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Have a good night.